Trap News Network. We back in the same. Like, could crack in the same. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe for more of this good content we got going on here at TNN Trap News Network. It's that good news you can use. It's that good knowledge you can't get nobody's college. Big dog, tap in with the tap in to make sure you are, in fact, tapped in with that good tap in we got going on here at TNN Trap News Network. That news you can use. That knowledge you can't get nobody's college. Big dog, tap in with that tap in to make sure you are, in fact, tapped in with that good tap in. You feel me? Everything we got going on here at TNN Trap News Network. News you can use. Some knowledge you ain't finna get nobody's college. Big dog. Like, comment, subscribe. Drop a comment. Best comment between now and 25,000 subscribers on this page gonna get $100. Best comment between now and 15,000 on a new page gonna get another $100. Get into that if you ain't got into that, man. Like, comment, subscribe, and make sure you hit that good subscribe button. You feel me? Hit that button. Like Young and Hefe say, it ain't costing you nothing to hit that button, ring that bell, and I'm gonna bring you mail. Shout out to Young and Hefe. That's a good slogan, man. Unlike y'all, I give credit where credit is due. Don't worry about it, though. That's a shout out everybody. Like, comment, subscribe. We finna jump into this content, man. We got DJ Vlad. I'm sorry, Man at the Garden freestyle out now. Please don't touch my. It got a body on it out now. And Fairy Tales out now too, man. Make sure y'all get into that if you ain't got into all of that. We got DJ Vlad. We got Adam22. They talking about Bricc, baby. I'm still not sure if DJ Vlad has a really small ponytail or he has a weird shaped head. I'm talking about right here. Does DJ Vlad have like a man bun? We finna jump into this content without no further do's or don'ts. Let's get into this content without no further do's or don'ts.
From my perspective, Bricc Baby's somebody who I've seen him really trying to change his life. In various ways, he was in the streets throughout the whole beginning part of his life. He's been with me for 2 years. At the very beginning of the 2 years, he ended up getting his house raided by the cops, and they found an AK, allegedly. And then, well, this is actually discussed in the RICO, so I don't know if it's really alleged at this point, but never charges filed. WACK sat on this podcast many times and said that the fact that there were no charges filed basically was indicative of the fact that Bricc was telling. My perspective always was, maybe, but I think more likely is that this is all going to get wrapped up into some kind of federal thing at some point, and that's exactly what happened. But again, that was like 2 years ago, and you know, I see him day to day, and I see what kind of life he's trying to live, and there's just been so many times where he just sat there and just told me, and not in a way where he was like grandstanding or trying to win me over or trying to gas me up, but where he said, you don't know how nice it is to be hanging out with people like you and doing business like this, because so much of my younger life involved, oh, we got to go to a show, we got to perform at a show. We know there's a massive chance of some kind of violent altercation happening when we go to perform at this show. Or, you know, me taking him to like porn parties and he's just hanging out around. Porn party sounds crazy, but you know, to situations where it's just a bunch of girls, it's very low key. They're not even searching you out the door. Nobody's worried about who's got a gun at the porn party. It's just very much like a chill atmosphere in comparison. And I've just like seen that. I remember the first time that we recorded in the studio together, and he actually just said to me in lunch, he goes, you know, this is a good way for us to hang out because we don't got to be outside or nothing. We can just hang out and make music. And it's like, you know, it's very, this is like a good way for us to hang out. And I'm like, oh, like we're actually becoming friends. Like he actually looks at me and Lush as people that he just wants to kick it with and make music and shit like that. And so to see something from a couple of years ago really come back to get him. And again, I don't know what's going to be in the sealed indictment. That's kind of like the big.
Oh, there's another one? Another part?
Yeah, and a lot of speculation about what might be in it. We have absolutely no idea. I mean, I guess you could imagine that it's almost nothing. You could imagine that it could be a big deal. There's a lot of people who've tried to say that Bricc could have been involved in the whole OTF thing. I personally, through my conversations with Bricc, he pretty much assured me that this is not something that he was in any way involved in, and I tend to believe him.
Yeah.
But you never know. What's your perspective on Bricc, having seen him over the last couple?
Hey, I like Adam, what he just did right there. He just for sure humanized Bricc, and it makes you feel bad for him. Like, damn, bro, he trying to change his life. He trying to do better. You know, he's seeing things differently. And here, this flu, flammery, skullduggery, and larceny comes in at the last minute to kind of derail him off his positive course.
Once that you guys have been doing content and everything.
Sad. It's sad. It seems like Bricc, you know, he has a new baby, right?
He has like I think she's 2.
Yeah. So he has a young baby. He has other kids.
You know, one just turned 16.
Yeah.
You know, just got her a car and shit.
Yeah. He seems like he's taking care of his family. He seems like he actually cares. Like, you know, there's a lot of parents, both male and female, that don't do a good job of caring about their kids. He actually seemed like he really does care about his kids.
For sure.
It seemed like he was really embracing the whole content thing. Me and him had a conversation about building up his YouTube channel. You know, because I was like, yo, if you really stay with the consistency, you could really control your own shit. You know what I'm saying? It's cool to do No Jumper and Vlad TV, but really I think the goal should be your shit. And like I said, I just ran into him randomly at the Beverly Center. And to see this come together, and I think it's just sad that it's wrapped up into this bigger RICO.
Yeah.
A gun charge is a gun charge.
Right.
All right, you could beat a gun charge, you could get your lawyer, you plead out, blah, blah, blah. RICO is something different. RICO gets involved with, I mean, the purpose of a RICO was designed for the mafia, where you had people that were not committing crimes that, you know, they were telling other people allegedly to do it, and that's how they're able to get these mob bosses and these captains and stuff like that. So the whole thing of a RICO is that you're being charged with things that you may not have done yourself. You know, other people have done acts,
things that people have done at the request of you, or at the fear of you, or under your influence,
and you're being blamed for what other people have done. And that's the scary part of a RICO.
Yeah. Definitely. I mean, honestly, I had a conversation with Brick's girl and his mom earlier today, and at least from their perspective, Bricc has nothing to do with any of the very serious charges that they're trying to put on Big U, which is my understanding too. Like, you know, a lot of the stuff that Loose Cannon was talking about, I got the feeling that this was like pretty foreign to Bricc, that he didn't have that level of involvement with whatever Big U had going on, but that Brick's from Rolling 60s. They had this gun charge that they've been sitting on for a while. They want to make it look good for the media. They want to put a lot of pressure on whoever they can to talk about Big U. So they wrap Big U up, or they wrap Bricc up in this whole Big U Rolling 60s indictment. And as a result, probably right now, they're leaning on Bricc to try to get information about Big U and whatnot. But really, ultimately, the crime that they're charging him with doesn't have anything to do with anything besides the fact that they allegedly found this gun in his house. Now, that being said, there's the sealed indictment. We don't know what's in that. But, yeah, I mean, it does kind of seem like talking to his mom and his girl, they're saying, we think that if this goes well and we get a good lawyer to deal with his bond or whatever, that he could be home in a couple weeks. Yeah. Which would be crazy for him to be home in a couple weeks and be on ankle monitor for the next couple years or a year or however long it takes to fight it. Yeah.
I'll take an ankle monitor any day of the week.
Yeah. 100%.
Sad, man. It's sad. I like the guy. I wouldn't keep having him on my show if I didn't like him. You know, we create content that people react to. Me and him, you know, hang out afterwards. We'll smoke a joint, you know, outside.
Oh, really?
I mean, it was cool, man. I was looking forward to the next interview.
You got to feel like the feds have like a little bit of a sense of humor, because we finally got Loose Cannon and Bricc Baby on camera together the night before the RICO. We finally do that. The fans are going nuts. The fans
Loose Cannon was back on No Jumper.
We brought him back for that, yeah.
Really?
And
even with all the craziness that happened in the parking lot,
which was also mentioned in this indictment. Did you see that?
Oh, was it?
Oh yeah. And kind of a cause for concern, because they pinpointed and said like that Loose Cannon smacked this guy with a gun repeatedly and removed $5,000+ worth of stuff from him. I don't know how they would get to that number without having a conversation with this guy. Also, how did this guy have $5,000 worth of stuff on him? He probably had an iPhone.
If you start taking off clothes and all that kind of stuff, it totals up to.
Okay, so that's what, maybe 1,200
at most, yeah. And then
what else?
I can't. Like, maybe he had a chain or something. He didn't strike me as the kind of guy who's wearing a $4,000 chain. But
yeah, they're trying to get to like a grand theft.
Maybe, threshold. Yeah. I don't know.
You know, maybe that's where that number comes from.
They're going to start talking about the fact that he got stripped naked. They're going to count the clothes. They're going to count the chain. They're going to count the phone. They're going to count the 2 cents that was in his pocket. It's everything.
But the funniest thing about it is that, you know, Bricc Baby on this podcast smokes huge amounts of weed, back-to-back blunts. And Loose Cannon, meanwhile, doesn't even kick it with people who smoke weed, I'm pretty sure. He doesn't smoke weed, he doesn't drink. Just from the contact high of Bricc smoking in this room with him, Loose's brain turned into oatmeal pie.
It was already oatmeal pie, just a melted oatmeal pie.
At the end of that interview, like he just quickly got to the point where he was basically incapable of engaging in the conversation, which was not great for the podcast, but kind of hilarious for us to witness.
All right,
From
man.
my
That's that. We finna get up out of here to the next one. Y'all know the deal, man. Red dots to the left. Y'all know the rest. And it's free. Avenue Angel till he's free. We are gone.